Welcome back for another video blog. It's Victor and Matt from the 110 Sports Podcast. Victor, I've been watching a lot of college basketball. I got a question for you. Why is the Pac-12 so bad?
Wow, that's where do you start? I mean, they've been awful. I mean, they haven't beat a ranked team all year. Part of the reason I think that they're struggling is it's somewhat of a transition. You're probably not going to like that, but let's just take out Utah and Colorado for a second. The regular Pac-10, 7 of the 10 teams, their coaches have been there 4 or less years. So in a sense, they really haven't been able to maybe get those recruiting classes that they really want. In order to be a successful team and have success, you got to be able to sustain it over a long period of time, like Arizona did with Lute Olson, like Stanford did with Mike Montgomery. And I think that's where part of the problem is. I mean, they've also been hurt by having a lot of players leave early for the pros.
Hi, I've been hearing about this transition for like several years. Victor, when's the transition going to stop? This
well,
is the
when
longest
you stop firing
transition
coaches.
I believe there's 3 reasons or 3 things you can point at of why the Pac-12 is so bad. And you can point at Arizona, UCLA, and Washington. You need your top schools to be some of the nation's best. And let's be honest, they're average right now at best. And so in any conference, you're going to have bad schools. You're going to have the bottom feeders. But in a really good conference, you always need those top schools to be elite among the nation. And right now, they're just not. So you can blame the folks in Tucson and LA and in Seattle for this mess. Because if they were a lot better, the Pac-12 would follow along and it would be a lot better conference. Overall, how many schools get in to the big dance in March?
I see. They obviously get the automatic bid. I say
they do.
They get the automatic bid. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to go low. I'm going to go low number.
I think 2 at best.
I go 2 at best because you look at the 2 best teams probably right now that are playing, Stanford and Cal. You assume one of them is probably going to win it. And the other one, they've had some really bad losses and not a lot of marquee wins. So that last team, that's either Stanford or Cal, who doesn't win it, they may end up being like a 12th seed. They may just barely sneak in.
Join us for our next podcast. It's episode 139. It's with ESPN's college basketball analyst, Jay Billis. He'll talk to us about this issue, shed some light on it, some thoughts on it from him. So join us for our next podcast, episode 139, with Jay Billis on 110sportspodcast.com.